We run a programme of events throughout the year to provide inspiration, encouragement and skills training, and most of this actually is in the field of data and research methods. So as I said, at the heart is our knowledge bank, which informs all our activities, and it leads to cooperative action research projects and developmental campaigns. So, I'll try and give you this for the translators. Imagine this as a virtuous circle on your right. We have a virtuous circle approach to facts and figures, and it underpins all our interventions. So we take data from many sources, you can see at the bottom. We turn it into information by giving it a context through analysis and with benchmarks. We turn that information into knowledge by interpreting it, giving training and enabling discussion. We use that knowledge to run action research projects, do consultancy projects and collaborate together, turn those into audience development campaigns. We feed back the results, evaluate the projects, and we start at the bottom again. But this time the circle is a little wider and stronger, and we've deepened and enhanced our knowledge of arts audiences yet again. Audiences London is one of a UK-wide infrastructure of 12 audience development agencies, and together they receive £2.7 million, about 3.1 million euros in direct project and direct and project funding from the 4 UK arts councils, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. However, they generate about £3.5 million, 3.9 million euros of their own earned income. They work with over 400 organisations, and even they have their own umbrella collective organisation called Network. Each of the agencies has a distinct personality, determined by how it was developed and the area in which it serves. And when trying to explain this to public policymakers and funders when I was at the Arts Council, because I also set up this nationwide network, I used to think of them as a box of chocolates. They're all different, but they're definitely all chocolates. So, onto our knowledge bank. I'm going to talk about part of our knowledge bank called Snapshot, which is our big data analysis project in London. But inside our knowledge bank, which we are launching on March the 10th, so you've got it before anybody else in the UK, I realise, we're putting a whole load of resources up online for organisations to take down as they wish. Now, most of it will be free, and only a small amount of it will be exclusive to those 70 organisations who pay to be part of us to get a different sort of service. So this is project reports, case studies, how to do guides, toolkits, all the audience intelligence we can, and where to go for audience data sources. We combine Snapshot into an even bigger picture, which we call Culture Map London. That has layers and layers of data, not just about the audience. So, I think I said on the first slide, if you remember, we work on a give and gain model. I hope that's clear to everyone. If you give, you get. So we encourage data sharing wherever possible. For those of you worried about your mailing lists, it's nothing to do with mailing lists. We're talking about unattributed individual records. That's all. So people are sharing anonymized data. So, Snapshot London, big collective data gathering project. There's 39 organisations, most of which are in inner London at the moment, but we're expanding all the time. We capture data automatically from ticketing systems. identifying individual bookers, transaction information, and audience behaviour. We produce benchmarks annually across the whole data set and by art form. And those participants who've contributed their data get access to online auto-reporting. They can call down reports as they wish to have them. The benchmarks and some bespoke reporting on top of that. So all our information has a geographic base. So illustrative maps and charts are very easy to produce. It's also socioeconomically profiled. The marketplace is segmented, especially for London. So each organisation can contribute its own information, it can analyse its own information, it can benchmark it, and then it can compare it to other organisations in London with their permission. So there are lots of smaller groups working together inside that. But it's not shared except at headline level with anyone who isn't part of the core scheme. So, that's a big list. That's all the people who take part in Snapshot this year. That's everything from the London Philharmonic Orchestra to a dance centre to the South Bank, small organisations in the outer boroughs, to the Old Vic. It's theatres, dance companies, orchestras, and anyone with a ticketing system. So you can see that this is mainly the performing arts. There's the art forms it covers. Snapshot 2009 is just about to be launched again on March the 10th. This is a little bit of information from the one before. If you can imagine, we're taking as a snapshot a frozen point in time. So when we did this, we had 1.7 million bookers, 57,000 events, and over 3 years, 4.2 million bookers and 150,000 events. So we can say how many people came, when they booked, how often they attended, where they engaged. There are a myriad number of ways of cutting the data into what we want to find out. It tells us about behaviour, about geography, about demography, about spend, who's missing, who's underrepresented, and the effects of our practice. How does what we do affect audiences? And remember, this is real data. It's not survey data. It's what people actually do. We used Snapshot in a project called Dance Escalator, and we went into our dance information to try and inform the programming of dance in the capital and improve our support for dance organisations. We also wanted to argue for larger resources for dance promotion in London. So this is a map. This is what Snapshot can do. This is one of the simplest things that Snapshot can actually do. This is a penetration of audiences, and the red dots are dance venues where dance programming is carried out.